Protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
And welcome back, my fellow freedom lovers everywhere. You know, remember the time, it was not so long ago, that that the left kept saying that, we couldn't drill our way to energy independence. Well, and those of us on the right kept saying, yeah, you really can. You can definitely do that. And now we are, those of us who are right, as on the right, we usually are right, we're dancing a happy dance about that very notion, that very thing. And that is simply because we had, this is from the Telegraph, UK, by the way. And again, it's you got to go offshore sometimes to find onshore stuff. Now, how sad is that? But here's the story. U.S. to launch blitz of gas exports eyes global energy dominance. In other words, there are U.S. energy and gas companies that are looking to make sure that the U.S. is the OPEC, if you will, of natural gas. Now, the U.S. Energy Department prepares a wave of LNG gas permits in the latest move to redraw the world's oil and gas landscape. Now, the United States is poised to flood world markets with once unthinkable quantities of liquefied natural gas as soon as this year, profoundly changing the geopolitics of global energy and posing a major threat to Russian gas dominance in Europe. Now, of course, Putin isn't going to like that. Of course not. So this is what Ernest Moniz of the U.S. Energy Secretary says. We anticipate becoming big players, and I think will have a big impact. He said, we're going to influence the whole global LNG market. How about influencing the whole global oil market? Look, we have long known that we've had these huge natural gas reserves. And this is one of the reasons why for a while there was a push to have, public transportation, public buses powered by natural gas engines, and why, some automobile companies tried to come up with, and they did produce in limited quantities, natural gas powered vehicles, especially fleet vehicles. Especially like pickups and vans and things like that. They were, to be powered by natural gas because we had such an abundance of it. We've got way more than I've seen estimates that say that we have natural gas reserves to last us for 500 years. I have never seen an estimate less than 150 years. And that's just the known reserves. What happens when we find new reserves? What happens when we find new reserves? The same with oil. Now, what happens when we find new reserves of oil? Well, we know where there's lots of oil, and right now the Obama administration won't let people explore to get at it in certain places. But what happens when we find oil on places that we can get at? Which they do find. And what happens then? I mean, it's unfathomable. The technology to finding this stuff and being able to get at this stuff advances daily almost. So what happens when a large nation with a strong military that can protect those reserves actually decides to tap them? Well, we change the world. That's how. That's what happens. We change the world. We change it for the better. We're not an evil empire, as some on the left would have you believe. We're not. We're not even an empire, but if we were, we're a good empire. And we want everybody to experience what we are experiencing here in the United States, which is, freedom, prosperity, to raise the level of poverty. Now, wouldn't it be nice if the rest of the world's poverty was equal to the poverty in the United States? That level. The rest of the world would not be in poverty anymore. But you have to be able to provide opportunity, and opportunity comes in many forms. And in a country that needs to provide opportunity for its people, its poor people, they need energy to do that. Plain and simple. And we seem to have, which is really kind of interesting, because I wonder how many of these permits are going to be approved by the Obama administration. But understand that they could only slow down this new dominance. They can't prevent it, because there's going to be an administration, hopefully in 2016, that will approve these things, including the Keystone Pipeline and additional oil exploration. And by providing the ability to go after other sources of oil, can help bring down the cost of getting that oil. So then we're going to have another oil boom. We're going to have a gas boom. And people are going to experience lower cost in energy, which then translates to lower cost of doing business, which then translates to more opportunity and lower cost of goods and services. Plain and simple. And more people are going to work their way out of poverty. More people are going to work their way up into the middle class, and more people are going to work their way up into the upper class. Isn't that a nice thought? Eliminating poverty, growing your middle class, and strengthening your upper class. That's a beautiful thing. It is. That's what America's all about. That, my friends, is what America's all about. Opportunity. Plain and simple. Speaking of opportunity, somebody wants to... You see, again, this is this liberal crap. Somebody wants to limit your opportunity and your freedom again. Hawaii is poised to become the first state to raise the smoking age from 18 to 21. Now, again, okay, then maybe if 18 to 21-year-olds are not old enough to make adult decisions, then they're not old enough to vote. I don't know how you can. Well, they're old enough to affect the course of an entire nation and their future, but they're not old enough to drink or smoke. But you're old enough to go into your military, operate multi-million-dollar systems and craft and kill other people in battle, but you're not old enough to imbibe in an adult beverage or smoke a cigarette or utilize a tobacco product because you're not yet 21. And indeed, you might not ever live to see 21. But hey, you know what? We kept you healthy, right? We kept you healthy so you would not imbibe in something so terrible. And you wouldn't ruin your health. And you would be able to live forever. But, you don't get to smoke it, though. You don't get to drink an alcoholic beverage. Honolulu, a bill that would make Hawaii the first state to raise the legal smoking age to age 21, cleared the legislature last Friday and is headed to the governor. The bill would prevent adolescents from smoking, buying, or possessing both traditional and electronic cigarettes. I didn't know you were an adult. I thought you were an adult at 18. Well, adolescents can't vote. It's definitely groundbreaking legislation, said Jessica Yamuchi, executive director of the Coalition for a Tobacco-Free Hawaii, which pushed for the bill. It's amazing to be the first state in something that is very exciting for us. Yes, it's amazing to be the first state that is going to further limit people's freedom. That's amazing. Look, you don't like tobacco, don't use it. Leave those who like to use tobacco alone. They're adults. They get to make their own decision. Now, look, I know it's not going to happen, but this type of law should be struck down in the Supreme Court. It should be struck down at the state Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court. And frankly, people are probably not going to agree with me on this one, but you know what? It's the same for alcohol. Either you are an adult or you are not. Plain and simple.